The government should ensure a minimum level of retirement income for pensioners. That's according to a cross-party group of MPs in a new parliamentary report.
But with the bill for pensions soaring, can we afford it? Richard Gaisford's been going through the numbers.
Yeah, I think they might surprise some people, Charlotte. Last year, the government spent £138 billion on the state pension. That is predicted to rise to £145.6 billion by the end of this year. The increasing cost of all this due to the ageing population and the triple lock, which guarantees the state pension rises each year in line with either inflation, wage increases or 2.5%, whichever is the highest. Now, those aged 60 plus are currently earning £72 more per week on average than 22 to 29-year-olds, and are only around £130 a week worse off than their 40 to 49-year-old counterparts. And it is worth noting the over 60s are more likely to vote in the 2024 general election, a larger proportion of that age group than any other cast a ballot.
Very much. So the question is, should there be more cash for OAPs? Joining us to debate this is Reem Ibrahim from the Institute of Economic Affairs, who says young taxpayers shouldn't foot the bill for pensioners, and sociology lecturer Dr. Lisa McKenzie, who says not all pensioners are wealthy. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for joining us. Lisa, let's start with you then. You know, it's true to say, isn't it, that there are those pensioners who, who find it really hard to afford the cost of living. Yeah. We've had the cost of living crisis, we've had the winter fuel payments hit, and that has had an impact. But as a group, pensioners do have a lot of assets, don't we? And when we look at those figures involved, can we continue to fund at that level and have a protected amount for the pension? Is it sustainable?
I think we must protect pensions. Pensions have been a long, hard-fought benefits for people. Let's remember that when you retire, you are not working. Your income is never going to increase. Inequality in this country is absolutely widening. And what we don't want is we don't want people of the future to be born poor and then die poor. So by keeping pensions, protecting pensions, yes, I would admit, and, Reem is a young person who, is struggling because life is difficult now. But this is one demographic. It's a blip. The next generation of pensioners won't be as wealthy as this. And then Reem's generation, if we are lucky and we grow old, won't be as wealthy as this. So I think we have to protect it for the future.
On that point, I mean, I will never get a state pension, right? The state pension in its current system is entirely unsustainable. We are spending huge amounts of money.
Why won't you get a state pension?
Because it's unsustainable. Because
you think it's going to be taken away?
It's absolutely going to have to be. I mean, what are the options,
well, that's
right?
why we must protect it now.
We either borrow more money. We already saw that in the month of June, government borrowing was ballooned to £20 billion. It is extortionate, the amount of money the government are having to spend. A lot of it is public sector spending, and a lot of it is on pensions. Now, the triple lock on pensions means that the pension system is specifically for those individuals, not a whole lot of money, right? We're talking about less than £150 a week, sorry. But actually, when we're thinking about it from a wider perspective, a quarter of pensioners are millionaires. Why should young, hard-working taxpayers have to foot the bill for benefits to be given to millionaires?
OK, so should there be an argument for it being means-tested in that case? Is there some way of saying, OK, look, we appreciate the fact that there are an amount of pensioners who do have that wealth and then don't need the support, but actually there are a significant number of pensioners at the same time who do need the support?
I mean, we currently have 1.9 million pensioners that are living in relative poverty. And as generations move on, that because of, the increase in inequality, that will probably rise. So I believe in universal benefits. It takes, it tells the story of our country. It tells the story of who we are. And I think we've lost that political story.
But don't you think, then, that those 1.9 million pensioners should actually be receiving more money, but that money then can be targeted to those that actually need it? Of course, there are so many pensioners that are in poverty that need more support. But why should money go to everybody? Why should somebody like Lord Alan Sugar, a multi-millionaire, be getting taxpayer-funded benefits?
Well, I mean, when we're looking at the sort of wealth of pensioners, most of it is in housing.
Yes.
The problem here is housing, it's not pensions. So, you know, if we're looking at policies to try and level up and have more equality, we should be looking at housing.
I can't afford to buy a house.
I know.
Why should I be paying extortionately high taxes?
Neither can I.
We can't afford to buy homes. The housing crisis is absolutely rife. Why should I then foot the bill for a pensioner because they don't want to sell their house?
But that's an issue of housing, not pensions. And there will be...
They're both issues.
And there will be, I think it's something like 5 to 9 trillion wealth that's going to get passed down in the next 10 years. So some people are going to benefit from that,
so can't
but
you
not
then
all.
see that millionaires should not be receiving the state pension?
Like I said, I believe in universal benefits.
Why? Why should a millionaire
Because I
get
think
the state
it tells the
pension?
better story of who we are. It protects...
But we can't afford it, Lisa.
It protects
Who's
the
going to pay for
bottom.
it?
So, I mean, interesting question. National insurance. Pensioners pay income tax. Pensioners pay VAT. But at the moment, pensioners don't pay any national insurance. Would you spread national insurance to pensioners so they pay that, and that would get some more money?
No, I wouldn't. Because
Why?
Because it's the fact that the system is broken, right? The entire concept of the
I thought you would say yes to that.
No, I wouldn't. The entire concept of the state pension is completely a Ponzi scheme. People think that you pay national insurance your entire life and that money stays in a little pot in the Treasury, and then when you turn pension age, you take that money out. That isn't how the system works. The state pension today is being paid for by taxpayers working today.
Well,
that's the point.
It's how it's been for 120 years.
And the national insurance as a concept is a complete lie. What I think should happen is national insurance should just be rolled into income tax so people don't get confused and don't start believing
If you
pay NI.
If you roll national insurance into income tax, then pensioners would pay national insurance. You just said you were against that.
Well, indeed, no, I don't believe in adding increasing taxes on pensioners for those particular people.
But if you merge them, then you would.
Well, Ed, this is the point. To Lisa's point, when she was saying that actually what we need to see is those particular pensioners that are worse off receiving more of that state support. I don't disagree with that.
Fine.
What I am saying is that it has to be targeted to people that actually need it. And millionaire pensioners cannot continue to receive other hard-working taxpayer money.
Means testing the basic pension. What do you think?
No, I don't think we should means test. What I want is a good society where we care about each other. We don't put further divisions in. There are taxes that that we could have. We could tax that unearned wealth on housing. The housing market is broken. People are benefiting from that broken housing market. They've done nothing in order for their house to be increased in value. We could tax that.
So some kind of wealth tax in that case?
Yes, but leave pensions alone because if we are lucky, we will grow old.
Hang on. The big rise in house prices has disproportionately benefited pensioners.
Yes.
So therefore, you don't mean leave them alone. You mean have a wealth tax on pensioners.
No, what I mean is leave the pension alone.
Leave the pension alone.
Yeah, leave the pension
tax
alone.
pensioners in other ways.
Yes.
Like national insurance being applied to pensioners.
We could do that.
We could
do that.
And a wealth tax.
But what we're doing is protecting the state pension.
The reason why I'm against this particular proposal, Ed, is that it doesn't solve the problem. The state pension as a concept is a complete Ponzi scheme. It's a lie. And when you have... Housing is absolutely the point to be made here. 3/4 of pensioners are homeowners. And I think that the debate really needs to be had. Is it fair that asset-wealthy millionaires are then receiving the state pension when all of us are having to foot the bill? Crucially, I think if we abolished stamp duty and made it much more easy for an older pensioner to say, you know what, I'm in a 5-bedroom house, my kids have moved out, I'm actually now going to downsize and actually take some of that money so I can live a comfortable retirement. But we don't do that, so we need to abolish stamp duty and means test the triple lock.
Reem, honestly, from the Institute of Economic Affairs, tell me, what is the probability in the next 20 years of the basic pension being means tested or abolished? I would say 0 probability. What do you think?
I think it's incredibly highly likely. I mean,
you think it's incredibly highly likely?
Who is going to pay for it?
So, are the Conservatives going to advocate?
I have absolutely no idea what different politicians are going to do.
Is Nigel Farage going to?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but I do know that...
You said it was very likely.
I do know...
I tell you, no chance at all.
Okay. Well, I think if we look at those voting figures, the over 66 more likely to vote in the 2024 general election, a larger proportion of that age group than any other cast a ballot. So that could be a
that's why,
reason why
the Conservative Party will never get rid of the state pension. For that reason, Ed, because pensioners are much more likely to vote and they're much more likely to vote Conservative.
Any chance of Labour getting rid of the basic pension?
No one's going to get rid of the basic pension. It's a benefit that I think we should protect, because we don't want to let it go. What we don't want is 80-year-olds in 15 years' time still working.
OK, well, listen, thank you both very much. I know we have to draw it to a close there, but thank you.
But we should find out what you think at home. We ask you on X if it's right to give more money to those people in retirement. And I'm afraid, Reem, bad news. 76% of our viewers said yes. 24% said no.
That's quite interesting, isn't it?
So, therefore, maybe those older voters are more likely to vote and more likely to watch GMB.
To get in touch with us this morning. Thank you to all of you who voted, and thank you both for the discussion as well.